I am talking all about planning for next homeschool year. I have a couple other videos, planning videos, that I will link below. I feel like I do one every summer, and so this summer is no different. I'm going to share specifically how I planned for this upcoming school year. Some of the plans that I stick to every year look the same. So first, we are not year-round homeschoolers. I have never been, and unless something drastically changes, I don't see us homeschooling year-round ever. We love our summer breaks and really look forward to them and enjoy them. I usually know when I'm going to start, and then usually know kind of when we're going to end, and kind of have loose breaks planned throughout, and none of it is 100% set in stone, but it gives me a good idea and a good outline. So that's usually where I start for start phase one or whatever, if you want to call it that. If you're kind of on the newer side to homeschooling and you're not sure, I would say probably start with that. If if you're not sure if you want to homeschool year round yet, or if you just want to do more of a traditional school year, that might come over time, but at least start with, when are we starting? When are we finishing? When do we want to add in breaks and that type of thing? And then secondly, what I do is I plan out what our day is going to look like. So, and that has always changed too, as far as what blocks of time we're going to have. So each year that looks different. Some years, all of our group subjects and morning basket subjects have been done in the morning. So that's our Bible, any extra enrichment, art, or anything like that, history and science all gets grouped together. And then we do our individual subjects, language arts, math, that type of thing. And then other years we just do our Bible, our morning baskets in the morning, Bible and that type of thing in the morning, individual subjects, math and language arts. And then at the end of the day, after lunch, we tack on science and history. And so it really just depends on the year. It depends on what we're doing. And so don't be afraid to change things up like that. Usually every single year looks different for us. Actually, so far it has. We'll be going on to year 6 next year, and no 2 years have looked alike, and that's okay. I don't mind it like that. My recommendation, and take it for what it's worth, when you are least motivated, do your subject that you are most excited for. And when you are most motivated, do your subjects you're least motivated for, if that makes sense. So like me, I have the most energy in the morning, and not that Bible is the least subject I'm looking forward to. I just like starting off our day together as a group, and then doing our lessons. And usually by the afternoon, I'm quite tired, but I really like science and history. And so it gives me the motivation to continue to do that. And so that is just kind of how I plan for the day. But for example, let's say you are not a morning person. Maybe the subjects that you like the most, let's say you love doing history or whatever, maybe do that first thing in the morning when you're just not super motivated. And then the other subjects, when you have more energy and feel more alive, that's when you can do those subjects that are just like, not so much your favorite. And that is just how I have found it works for me to keep me going throughout the day. And especially when you're tired or it's been a long day, you're like, okay, but at least these are the subjects I prefer doing, / your children, right? Because they kind of do factor into just a little bit, right? No, I'm joking. Obviously factor them in, but you as the teacher, you have to realize that. And so it's going to be a little bit of trial and error. And then another thing that I like to kind of plan is we kind of stick to a schedule, kind of a routine. It's been a mishmash of both. Some years I made a video on why we have a schedule and not a routine. Probably a very unpopular opinion is you'll hear all the time, don't have a schedule, have a routine. And when I say schedule, it's just my children they thrive on some more than others, right? Will thrive more on structure. And it's like, no, we really need to start by this time, or they kind of feel like everything is off. And I totally get that, and I understand that. So we do like to have a set time that we start, and then like kind of a set time-ish for morning time, set time for recess. We call it recess, a little bit of a break. And then a set time for lunch. And then a set time for when they have some quiet time in the afternoon. Now, those are all set times, but I don't say, okay, 10:30 to 10:45 is math. 10:45 to 10 to 11 o'clock is reading. Like I don't set it within those parameters, but we have general blocks of time that we like to keep things in throughout the day. And that just kind of helps keep us going and keep us flowing. If things have to go a little bit later, that's okay. We are learning. We're all learning, like, hey, it's okay if it has to go a little bit over. It's okay. Life will be okay. I promise. You know, there's pros and cons to having structure and scheduling that time. You know, for children who like that, it can be really good, but you can also, one of the cons and negatives in realistic aspects of if things go a little bit behind, then, you know, they can become upset, or maybe you as the mom or whatever can become like, hey, it's 12:30, we still have all these things to do and it's lunchtime. You know, for that, I just try to say, okay, it is 12:30. We have not finished. Let's eat lunch and then we'll finish later. And that's what it has to be. And so there is flexibility within that. There is wiggle room. There is room for teaching our children. Some of them who are a little bit more time sensitive and love to be on that schedule, that it's okay. It will work out. Like it will be okay. And just those gentle, loving reminders. Things I don't do. Last thing, things I don't do. I do not lesson plan according to, you know, Tuesday is this, you know, September 23rd, we're doing lesson 15, September 24th, lesson 16, September. I don't ever do that. It just has not worked. If we miss something, miss a day, someone is sick, something happens, we don't do that. I just try to go by the next lesson. So every probably couple months, maybe like halfway through the year and more often towards like getting towards the end of the year, I will look and say, okay, are we kind of on track to keep finishing the specific top subject we're a little bit behind on and we would like to finish, so we need to make sure we're really sticking with this. It just really depends on the subject. So I know that's very vague, but like for math, it could look one way. For science, it could look a total different way. I just try to gauge like, okay, we're going to be done this day. We have about 30 more lessons. We need to make sure that we really are sticking to 4 lessons a week or 5 lessons a week or whatever it may be, instead of 3 lessons per week is what we usually did. Now we can need to bump it up, or no, we're good. We can keep it at the pace and we'll finish early, whatever it may be. And those are my things that have really helped. I do those are the main things that I do every single year. And it's just helped keep us on track. We like to finish curriculum. I know everybody is not like that, and that's okay. We're all different. But we just like to, me and my girls, we like to have that finished. Even sometimes if I'm like, no, it's okay, they themselves are motivated to like continue. And I feel like there's something just to be said for that. Not that I'm trying to like brag on us or anything like that. Like, please don't take it like that. But there's just something to be said. I think it's a good example to your kids. Like, we finish what we started. We don't just laissez, you know, because it's the end of the year, okay, whatever. And that's just my personal take on it. And I know everybody has different opinions and thoughts, but we just like to finish what our curriculum we've started. And it gives them a feeling and sense of accomplishment. But I also try not to like stress ourselves out over it either, right? So those are just some tips and tricks I have for planning our homeschool year, how I execute it. And now I am going to just quickly share some of the resources that I have made for next year. So I have a couple resources here. This is how professional and fancy I am. I do my initial planning in this much loved, much used notebook. So, I mean, this is from, I've done 2020, 2021. So with my very sloppy handwriting, I just put my chicken scratch on there and I just kind of get an idea of like how much everything is going to cost. I write down all the subjects I want to do, the morning time and all of that. So I kind of have it in front of me and no like fancy spreadsheets or anything like that. And then I kind of break down the daily work that I want them to do. This is our morning time. Let's see. I'm going to show you this more in detail right now. This is just to give you an idea. And then I kind of like post or like put what days I want to do what. So Larissa, Alexia, and Lola. So again, that was just to give you like, I do very basic, primitive planning in that. And then I make it a little bit fancier on the computer. Now, nothing too crazy, but so generally like for the whole year, what I do is I print out a school year and then I will always pick what date we're going to start. So usually end of August end of August is when we start, and I will just figure out how many weeks, and I will highlight the weeks that I want to that I know for sure I want to take off. Like obviously the week of Christmas and New Year's, a couple days in November, and then we'll take off like around a week in February, a week in April, but I don't know the exact dates I want to take off in February. So I kind of leave that up in the air, and I will highlight the weeks that I want to take off. I haven't done that yet. And then how I keep track of the weeks I've done is very simple. I just put like a 1, 2, 3, 4. That way I know what week we're on. And that's it as far as major planning for the year, as far as like when we're going to start, when we're going to take off. This is it. If you've seen my other planning videos, you know that it's exactly the same. It doesn't change from year to year. I don't do lesson plans as far as like, you know, where I have a planner and I say, okay, September 24th, September 25th, we're going to do lesson 7 of this and that. I never ever do that. I don't even reverse plan where I go back the week from the week before and write in what we did for that week or that day. I don't do any of that. I personally don't feel like there's a need. Maybe for your state and you have to keep more, a little bit tighter records, I understand, but I don't do that. I know that we just do one lesson to the next. So again, it's grand planning, not micro planning. It's more of on a macro, grander scale. So here's our morning basket, and I kind of, I write down in here what I want and what the days I want to be on. And then I kind of make it a little bit prettier and put it here. So Monday, this is what we'll do. So this is kind of what we'll do every day. And then notes. And then once I know for sure, a couple weeks into the school year, this is definitely what I want to keep. I don't want to arrange it or anything. Then I will laminate it. For science, I actually did write out a little science and history schedule. I'll attach the videos that I did where I talk about this more in depth. This is the first year I did like a history and science schedule. I've never done that before. And I don't want to take up too much time talking about that because I've already talked about it in other videos. If you are interested, we're using Beautiful Feet books for history, and then science is Sunlight and the Good and the Beautiful. I'm showing how I'm doing all of that. So then it's individual subjects. So my 6th grader did this herself on Canva. So I showed you in here, I kind of just write down everything they're going to be doing, and then I break it down into days, and then they take, let me find it for you real quick. So Larissa will take this and then just work off my little schedule. I made the other two for my other 2 girls, but Larissa, she's in 6th grade. She wanted to make this. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. And again, I'm going to laminate it once I know for sure. For now, I'll just put it in a page protector, and then she can take a dry erase marker and check off. Now she likes to put the page so she knows, like spelling page 98, math lesson 54, etc., etc. I don't require that, but she likes to do it, so you can get an idea for that. Lola, she'll be going into 2nd grade. I made this one for her last year. It didn't really last, honestly, but she wanted to do it again this year, so this is what she'll be doing. And then her days look pretty much the same, but same concept. And then my 4th grader, Alexia, she made this one. She chose this design and everything like that. So this is what hers will look like. And it just kind of keeps so they feel like they're progressing along. And I think it's good to keep them accountable, and they have to know, okay, it's right here. And so they can't use that as an excuse like, oh, I didn't know what I had to do. And it just makes it a lot easier. So that is how I grand plan. That is what our year looks like. That is what our morning time is going to look like, and that is what their individual subjects are going to look like. So that's going to be it. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, you could give it a like, and if there's any questions, leave a comment down below. I wish you all the best of luck for next year. You can do this. We are all in this together. I hope it will be a great year for you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.